Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Let's take a look at do's and don'ts of sump basins.
You know, we put in hundreds of pumps every year, and the sump basins, hundreds of these things, basements, crawl spaces, and in the backyard. This is a proper basin, and if you look at this, look closely. It's pretty obvious. You see where they've got the nipple already stuck out? See that? They've got knockouts all the way around. You can see they've got an area here, and see where the knockout is? This is the minimum depth that you can bring a line into the sump basin. Why? Because the sump pump sits down here on the bottom, and you need an area to collect water. Otherwise, the float would stay in the on position, and that pump would run and run and run. Like I said, we put in hundreds of pumps every year. Backyards, crawl spaces, basements. That's why you see the nipples and the knockouts on the side. You bring water into the side of the pit. Can you achieve more fall? Yes. You could bring that line clear down to here. And you could also make a deeper pit. If you want to build your own sump basin using a culvert, that's great. But do not bring the pipes in at the bottom. That is just such a no-no. And, you know, I'm really happy to see some of these people telling you these ideas. They've got great ideas, but what I'm really excited about is they're starting to use the Zoller M98, which I've been telling you for the past 30 years, that's the best pump on the market. And they're just starting to realize that. And I hope they continue to use the Zoller products. Like I said, that American-made product, of course. These are the best pumps on the market. What makes them the best? It's not that they're made in America, it's that they're made with cast iron, and the heat dissipates very quickly.
So if someone's showing you this type of ready-made basin with this giant inlet line coming in with no collection on the bottom, you're going to replace that pump so often. Remember, a good Zoller costs $300. And without a collection area for that pump's going to burn out pretty quick. We are the innovators of backyard pumps. Over 30 years, no one was doing this. And what we found is the sump basin needs a solid lid. Do not put a grate over top of your sump basin. Instead, use a catch basin to bring that surface water into your basin. Just another example of those little $15 basins that save you so much money. Like I said, we've been installing sump pumps and sump basins for well over 30 years. In fact, we install a sump pump nearly every day, whether it be in Charlotte or here in Orlando, where I'm installing in Florida. We install so many pumps, and the best thing I've seen out there on these channels is that they are beginning to use the Zoller M98. You can see it right away. You see that pump? It would be below the water coming into the pit. That thing would just run and run and run. That pump's going to burn out so quickly with that much water, keeping that pump in the up position, keeping that float up. There's a minimum water level that is required for these sump pumps to work properly. And you see where my finger is? In this scenario, the pump would have to sit on top of or at the level of the top of that inlet pipe, that 12-inch culvert. These ideas are pretty cool, but they really don't work. And, you know, the idea of a drop-in basin, that's just really not feasible. Every job is different. There's different levels to every depth of install. We have hundreds of videos showing you how to install the inlet line and the outlet line coming into these sump basins. And you'll notice that when we install them in all of our videos, that we're installing the sump basin, digging the trench, and then we make the mark of where we're coming into that sump basin.
So here's our Zoller M98 plumbed and discharging through the side of the sump basin. You can see the inlet line that brings in all the water from the catch basin and from the French drain.
Notice the level of the inlet line. It is above the float. You need an area for water to collect for this sump pump to work properly. Otherwise, it's going to burn out very quickly. And at $300 for a new sump pump, I just hope that you understand why this is so important. and that what you might be seeing on other channels is wrong. Setting up that inlet line on your sump basin really is a custom process.
When you install a sump pump inside of a sump basin in your backyard, you need a solid lid. You can bring that water in here at the side, but do not bring it down here at the bottom. That does not work properly. That pump will just continue to run. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.
Hey everybody, Nash and Joe with the Tampa Drain Dudes.
We are incredibly excited to announce that we are now partnered with Apple Drains. And what that means is that we are going to be taking over all of their clientele in this Tampa Bay area, which also includes...
We're going to go as far north as Brooksville, we're going to go as far east as Lakeland, and south as South Tampa, St. Petersburg area. If the job is the right size and we really need to help our clients out, we'll go a little bit more north, a little bit more east, and a little bit more south, just depending on what you guys' needs are. Joe, you got anything to add?
We're going to cover all exterior drainage that you may need: French drains, sump pumps, channel drains, gutter downspout redirection, all that good stuff. So check us out, tampadraindudes.com. We are incredibly happy and thankful for this experience to partner with Chuck from Apple Drains.
Be sure to subscribe and watch these other great videos on rainwater drainage.